Hi everyone, welcome back to Jesus Nuggets with Miss Gay. And today I want to talk about taking Jesus out of the box. And what do I mean by that? We have a tendency to think that God only does things in certain ways, or really our human mind tells us maybe these things are too big for God. And so what we do by our thinking and by our measure of faith, we actually can limit God. Now, I'm not saying God can't do anything he wants to. He can. But he wants us to have faith that he can and expectation he can. And Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us." And then in Ephesians 2:8, 9, and 10, it says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith. And that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." And I know, a few months ago, God told me that he wanted me to expect things that my mind could not even imagine. That to expect things that big. And I thought, and I said, Lord, how am I going to expect something that I can't even imagine in my mind? And it was through my faith. Have faith that he can do things so big that we can't even imagine those things, and give him the freedom to do it. I just tell him, Lord, I don't know how you're going to do it, but I know you're going to do it, so I'm just waiting for you to do it. But we do limit God by our lack of faith and by actually speaking, well, God wouldn't do it that way, or God wouldn't do it this way. Listen, God can do it any way he wants to. He made a donkey speak. He says that the faith of a mustard seed can move a mountain. He told us, if you don't worship me, I can make the rocks worship me. So see, God is all powerful. And he wants to do these things. He wants to show us his power. But we need to have that faith that he can and he will. And I've gotten to the point in my life, nothing he does surprises me. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm always surprised by it, but yet I'm not surprised by it, because I'm like, wow, God, look at you. Look how much you love me that you would do this for me. Or when he speaks, or just whatever. I'm excited. Every little thing I see that God does excites me. And it never gets old. And the little things excite me just as much as the big things, because the little things are just as important as the big things. And so don't limit God. With him, beyond the sky's the limit. Dream the impossible. Ask him for the impossible. Believe for him to do the impossible. Whatever is your impossible dream, talk to the Lord. Say, Lord, this is my impossible dream. In my power, it's impossible, but with you, all things are possible. And don't limit him. Don't keep him out of that box. Today, open that box and say, God, you can do everything. And I'm not going to limit you anymore with my lack of faith. And it's hard. I'm not going to tell you it's easy, because it's not. But boy, that wild ride is so worth it. And I've got things now that I'm waiting for that they truly are, in my eyes, impossible. But God has made me promises, and I just say, okay, Lord, I don't know how you're going to do this. In my human eyes, it seems like you can't. But nothing's too big for him. And I don't ever want to limit him by my lack of faith. And I don't ever want to tell him that I believe that anything's too big for him. And that anything that he's told me that he can't do, because I'm not going to call God a liar. Because if he said it, it's going to happen. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, might not be next month, it might not be in 6 months. But if he said it, you can stand on that promise, because it's going to be what he said it was going to be. So let your faith blossom. Open up that box and let all the goodness of God flow out of it, all the good things that he wants to give you. And when Satan tries to come in, and he'll say, God's not going to do that for you. God didn't say that for you. God can't do that for you. Well, you just say, Satan, you're a liar and you're the father of all lies, and God can do it, and he will do it. And then, once God does it, look at Satan and say, ha, 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 look at my God. Look what God did for me. Go back to hell where you belong. So, with that being said, happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. And until the next time, keep your eyes on the prize, which is Jesus Christ.